Hi guys, welcome back to Money Monday. So this video is all about financial stress and how to best manage it. It doesn't matter whether you are rich, poor, or financially comfortable. Everybody suffers some form of financial stress at one point or another. And obviously there are different types of stress, but there are also different levels of stress. Nobody is completely immune from financial stress, no matter what they tell you. I know for myself, when I'm feeling stressed about money, I feel like this flimsy little body floating around in the ocean in the middle of a really big bad storm, and there are huge waves crashing on me. And just when I finally come up for air, there's another set of big, dangerous, scary waves coming my way, and I can get so anxious. I sometimes struggle to sleep at night, and sometimes I even lose my appetite. But over time, I've learned to adjust my perception and the way that I look at financial stress. And instead of feeling like I'm being constantly dumped by financial waves, I've learned to actually ride those waves and become smarter and stronger and wiser. So I'm actually going to share with you what I do to overcome financial stress and how to give me, empowerment and put myself back in control in the driving seat again. And I think you'll like my tips, and I think they'll really help you if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now. So the first thing that I do is I write down exactly what is stressing me out. I try and use as much detail as possible, and I try to articulate exactly what is stressing me out to the best of my ability. I find that once I see it and reread it, it kind of feels quarantined, and I realize the problem is not as big as I'm making it out to be inside my head. The next thing that I do is I think about the worst case scenario, and I ask myself, how bad is this really going to be? What is the worst possible outcome that will come from that? I then ask myself key questions like, will I still have a roof over my head? Yes. Will I still be able to put food on the table? Yes. Will I still have my health and fitness? Yes. Will I still have my family and friends around me? Yes. Again, that starts to help bring the problem back into perspective, and I realize it's again not as bad as I'm making it out to be. So the third thing that I do is I count my blessings. And I actually do this in the middle of the night when I can't get back to sleep. So I will sit there and think of all the good things that have happened to me, all the opportunities that have been presented, all the great things I've been able to achieve, all the great things that have been given me, basically all the blessings. And then from that, we know that the more gratitude and appreciation we'll show, the universe sends us back more. I find when I do this, I realize that lots of really great things are happening around me, and this is just one little bump along the road. It doesn't need to be made any bigger than what it currently is. So now that I'm in a much better and more positive headspace, I go to the next step, which is brainstorming. Now, this is where I open up my mind and get as creative and as crazy as possible, and I write down as many solutions as possible. It doesn't matter how weird and wonderful they are, it's about just thinking about all the possible solutions that exist out there. And if you're having trouble, stimulating your imagination and creativity, sometimes by reframing the problem with how might I, helps you come up with a lot more solutions. So for example, say my car had broken down and it's very expensive to fix. Instead of just focusing on the fact I have a broken car and it's going to be disastrous and expensive, I actually would say to myself, okay, how might I fix the car quickly? This then opens up a whole stream of different ideas and gets the creative juices flowing. And from going through the brainstorming process, I pick a few different ideas which actually have some sort of merit, and I start putting those ideas into action. And I keep going with actions until I overcome that situation, even if I need to go back to the drawing board and come up with more creative brainstorming ideas. But the one important thing is I try and make it simple. I don't try and overcomplicate the solutions, because that may then overwhelm me, distract me, or get confusing. I try and keep my actions as simple as possible so that they're actually really effective. The sixth thing I do is I have a little chat with myself and make myself aware of any potential upcoming self-destructive patterns. Now, a classic one that I see all the time in finance when I'm coaching people to get out of debt is when they're in debt and they're stressed about that debt, their coping mechanism is to go out and shop more. But not only are they still stuck in that problem, but they've managed to, unfortunately, make that problem even bigger. So by being aware upfront in advance of what sort of potential threats or things that may jeopardize your success in overcoming that problem, writing them down so that you're really conscious of them, and if you feel the temptation sneak up, you can actually take the appropriate action to go against that sort of bad behavior. And then the seventh and final thing that I do to help manage and overcome financial stress is I have a very powerful conversation with myself where I make a decision to fix that problem. But not only fix that problem right then and there, but also come up with a solution or safety net so that if this issue ever arises again, it doesn't actually need to be a form of stress in my life. I can actually ride that wave and not actually have it dump me like it's felt like in the past. So for example, with the car, in the future, I would have some savings set aside so that if my car does break down again, it's not such a big deal, it's not such a disaster. I can just tap into my savings to pay for that, which would come out of my life account, and I can just move on with my life and move on with focusing on things that are happy and positive and my values and creating a bigger and better, happier future for myself. So to make sure this video is of extra benefit to you and that you clearly understand what I'm recommending, I'm actually going to put in detail all the steps that I've just explained below, so you can read it in the description box. And of course, if you have any other solutions for the other people that help with you find work really well with dealing with financial stress, please feel free to put them in the comments box below. Remember, stress is your body's reaction to a particular event or a series of events. You have the power and the ability to change and control how you react to certain stresses. And from these stresses, you can actually grow and become a wiser, smarter, stronger person. I hope that you find this video of value. If you like this particular style of video, let me know and I can make more of them. And if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to this channel, and you should also check out the Sugar Mama website. I will see you next week on Lifestyle Love or Money Monday. Ciao!